Hi. For Project 4, we were tasked with developing a serverless data engineering pipeline. Now in front of you, you'll see the process flow of the pipeline I developed. At its core, the two major components are the two Lambda functions. One Lambda function I'm calling the producer Lambda, the other a consumer Lambda. But there's other components as well. So let's walk through this process flow step by step. At the start is a CloudWatch timer I'm using as an event trigger. Every 1 minute, it's going to ping the producer Lambda to tell it to do its job. Now, what is that job? I designed this producer Lambda to read from a DynamoDB table I had pre-populated with some basic information. It then exports what it's read from that table to the SQS system, a messaging system. Now, once it hits the SQS system, the consumer Lambda has a trigger that activates on every message received by the SQS system. So it triggers the consumer Lambda to start doing its job. It reads that message from the SQS system and then performs some basic natural language processing on what it's read using AWS Comprehend. Once the natural language processing has been done, the result file is put into a CSV and loaded into S3. So let's start by looking at the Amazon DynamoDB table. It's just a simple 1-column, 6-entry table called races that's filled with 6 very well-known ultra trail running races. And so what's going to happen is the process engineering flow is going to pull information from this table, use Wikipedia's API to pull the first sentence from the Wikipedia entry for each item here, and then perform natural language processing on that Wikipedia entry, after which it'll then dump into S3. So let's also go to the S3 bucket. As you see, right now it's empty. I've deleted everything from this bucket, but our DynamoDB table is populated. So let's go to that producer Lambda. The first Lambda has a 1-minute test event trigger, which I've currently disabled, but am now enabling. So with that trigger enabled, every minute, this producer Lambda is going to get pinged and read from the DynamoDB database. It's then going to send to our SQS management console. Now I was running this earlier, but you can see the metrics here of messages coming into the SQS system. And now every minute, it's going to start receiving more messages. Once the SQS messages start coming in, the consumer Lambda, which is still enabled, is going to start processing them and generating a CSV file that's performed some natural language processing on the Wikipedia entry associated with each component. So if we go to the S3 console, let's see if it's populated it yet. Should only take a minute. And there we go. Now we have this minute, 6:41, 6 entries, entity analysis of each of these items. Now I ran this earlier, so I'm going to pull up the CSV for the Leadville 100. And I'm also going to pull up the Wikipedia page. Let's look at that first. So the first sentence on the Wikipedia page is, the Leadville Trail 100 run, aka Race Across the Sky, or LT100, is an ultramarathon held annually on the rugged trails and dirt roads near Leadville, Colorado, through the heart of the Rocky Mountains. Now let's go to our CSV file. And you'll see it has pulled out the Amazon Comprehend program has pulled out the components of that sentence, labeled it as a type, scored it on its probability of being that type, and then also said where in the sentence it is. Leadville Trail 100 run, Race Across the Sky, annually, Leadville, Colorado, Rocky Mountains. So, as you can see, from this process flow, we were able to read just a basic item from a table, pull in more data about each item, and perform an analysis on it that we wanted to see, and then dump it into a safe, secure storage location, S3, which we could then grab and do even more work on if we wanted to. Very easy to pull S3 items into other Amazon components. And this is going to run every minute. Now, set it to every minute just because we're testing. If this was a real life situation, we probably wouldn't be doing something every single minute. But This is just a proof of concept to show that with very little code, you can do some really cool things and pull some really strong processing through the Amazon service. Thank you.